Alrighty, welcome back to Bottles and Bottles, the uncut, unfiltered, unprepared podcast where we talk a little bit about whiskey and a lot about becoming a first-time dad. Today's episode, season 1, I guess you could call it, episode 2, is going to be reactions to pregnancy. So how did I react? Bill? Bill, how did you react?
Twice, 2 reactions.
True. By the way, I have both Bill and Adam with me today if you're not watching. So if you haven't listened to the intro episode, I would suggest checking that out. We give a little bit more info about ourselves, our situations, and all that kind of stuff. So let's kick it off. So first things first, before we dig into first reactions to pregnancy, let's talk about what we're drinking. We kind of went over this, so we're doing a 2-banger. So we just recorded our first episode, and now we're digging into the second one here. So we are still drinking Eagle Rare. I know, Bill, you probably know a little bit more about Eagle Rare.
Yeah, so we're not going to get into tastings and stuff like that. We're just going to drink. We're just going to drink what we want to drink.
Yeah, and let's put a disclaimer out there. We're not the whiskey sommeliers or anything like that. We just enjoy whiskey. We enjoy tracking it down, and we enjoy drinking it together responsibly, of course.
Absolutely.
So fill us in a little about Eagle Rare. I know the bottle is really cool for those of you watching YouTube. It's kind of on my right-hand side here. Really cool bottle. Hard to get in Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get probably almost anywhere just because it's from Buffalo Trace. Anything with that, anything that comes from Buffalo Trace is pretty tough to get your hands on, but it's a 10-year age stated. They recently moved that age statement to the back from the neck of the bottle.
Say that again?
It used to be a 10-year single barrel. They used to have single barrel on it, but since they technically started pouring the second barrel in to finish off a bottle from the first barrel, they removed the single barrel statement because they were wasting too much. Just what I've read.
That's way more information than I need.
That's interesting.
Okay, cool. So it is a 10-year.
It is 10-year, yes.
Okay.
But no longer single barrel, as some are mixed in the transitions from barrels to barrel.
Gotcha. Okay. So I got lucky and picked this bottle up on Saturday. Here, we're in the Cleveland area, and retail, I mean, it's a great bottle. It's one of my favorites. It's like $35 retail.
Can't beat it for the price.
No, you can't beat it for the price.
First taste,
Yeah.
I like it.
Have you had it before?
One time, but I can't remember it.
Okay. Also, Adam's like a low-key bartender. He like drives up to New York and bartends every now and then. So he has a very different outlook on alcohol in general. I'm pretty much limited.
It's a completely different world up there.
Maybe he can mix up some cocktails or something. He can bring something from up there.
Well, I will say this. When Morgan, my wife, comes on the show, he's going to have to make her a mocktail.
Mocktails are a new specialty. It's 2022. Very popular.
Right. Okay. So that's cool. We're going to be sipping on some Eagle Rare. We'll let you know how it tastes about halfway through the episode. And we'll go from there. But let's dig into the real topic today, which is first reactions to pregnancy. So this is like, for me, when Morgan told me she was pregnant, I want to talk about that, what I was thinking, feeling, kind of how she told me too, which I thought was actually pretty cool. But I would like to take it over to the veteran, Bill. Let's talk about year 2. How did your wife, I don't know if she's okay with us dropping her name on the...
Yeah, Lindsay's my wife. She's no need to keep her name anonymous.
Yeah, okay. So how did Lindsay tell you when you found out about the first pregnancy?
The first one,
And first of all, were you trying to have a baby?
Yes. So the first one took, I don't want to guess, but I mean, it was 14 months of trying.
Really?
So it was getting to the point where doctors were needed to be seen.
Okay.
And we were heading down a different route.
Yeah.
Because the standard way wasn't quite doing the trick.
Mm-hmm. And that's tough. I mean, it's like so common. And man, I feel for people in that situation. So
I can imagine frustrating.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Extremely frustrating. It's because your first reaction is you keep hearing no for 14, 15
That's a
straight months.
long time. I mean,
on-
over a year, man.
yeah,
Right? Mm-hmm. They'll
It
start
was
getting on
tough.
your nerves.
It was tough. It still hits
Yeah.
you when you think about it.
yeah.
Can you imagine not scoring a goal in hockey?
Yeah,
For like
that's happened to me.
15 games, right?
Hello.
All right. Or for an entire season.
Well, even still, I was never a goal scorer. I was more of the antagonizer. I'd be the one, digging in front of the net and dishing the puck. But that's neither here nor there. So, okay, so you guys were trying for quite a while. You're hearing a lot of no's.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get the good news?
So the good news was, so obviously a woman knows her cycle.
Yeah,
And
sure.
a woman's keen on her body, and they know earlier than they probably could even tell you or feel safe telling anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So Lindsay felt a little different and felt a little more positive this week that we found out. And before she went to work, she's a teacher. She grabbed a box of pregnancy tests, and before her first period, took one test, took two tests, took three tests, and found out it was positive.
They were all positive?
All positive. This was me. I was unbeknownst to this.
Okay.
Because she agreed that she would not take a test because the number of tests you go through in 14 months,
Yeah.
whether it's you think it's a yes, whether you know it's a no,
Yeah.
or whether you're just being very hopeful, is
Sure.
you can almost lose count.
Yep.
So she took these all against the deal we had made to where we were going to wait until the weekend.
This is a handshake deal, though, right?
It's a listen, I'm your wife, I'm your
Yeah.
husband. This is what we're going to stick to.
Right.
And
So-
she didn't stick to it.
No, she didn't stick to it.
No. Was there a long conversation about that?
No, because
Good
it was
news,
good
right?
news. Yeah. So what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So she did this. She did this on the back end.
Yes.
How did she tell you? And when did she tell you?
So I got home from work earlier than her that day.
So did she took these in the morning
She took these in the morning
and then went to work.
She gets done with work at 2:35, and I was home before she was.
Nice.
So she comes from the north into the driveway. I get home in the driveway, start walking into the door. She comes from the south. So my first question was, where were you? Because that's not the way from school. So she pulls in, we get inside, and she hands me a box of the Munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts.
Like donut holes?
Yeah, the donut holes.
Okay.
So the flap goes open, and it says, there's a Munchkin on the way.
Whoa.
That's fun.
So my initial reaction is, we're not pregnant because other people at her work are trying. So I
okay.
assume it's her secretary. I'm like, damn, your secretary is pregnant? Because in 14 months, a lot of people get pregnant.
Yeah.
True.
And you see
True.
a lot of people get pregnant.
Yeah.
And it hurts you even harder.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So then she goes, no. And it was us. And we were pregnant. And I absolutely broke down.
Man.
Absolutely broke. I'm breaking down now thinking about
Yeah,
it.
dude. Okay.
It was great.
Number one question here: what kind of Munchkins were they?
I couldn't even tell you. As much of a donut fiend I am, I don't even think I touched them.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's a cool story. Good job, Lindsay.
Yeah,
because that's
She's way more creative than I am.
that's super cool. Okay. How did you feel? I mean, obviously you were just thrilled. Was there any part of you that was scared or like, okay, now what?
In that moment, no, because the hard work that was the last 14 months, I know hard work, what you're actually doing.
Well, yeah.
Was done.
Yeah.
And finally we hit what our goal was, and that point was for Lindsay to get pregnant.
Okay.
So there was zero fear. It was all a 14-month wave of emotions just pouring out.
Okay. Yeah, very different situation from me. So we'll dig into that. How about your second? Was that
The second was, I hate to say I love my son so much, but he was planned, but not at that moment. We always plan on having a second, but he came a little earlier than we anticipated.
okay?
So my wife was certain she was pregnant all month long. I said, no way. No way, no way, no way. She took a test, and I was in complete shock. As certain as she was, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, and I was definitely scared for the second.
What was scary about it?
You already have one. You see how hard one is. And then you're going to add another one in on top of the one.
What was
growing.
the timeline between the two of them?
Good question.
First one was born January of 2020.
Okay.
Second one was born November of 21. So we found out the second one was coming.
That's a lot of math, first of all.
We found out the second one was coming when my first one was 13 months old.
Wow. Okay. Okay, I can see why that would be scary.
Yeah, very scary because
You're going through some rough times.
we just finally hit 1 year on the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second one's on the way.
So at that point, were you guys like sleeping again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well, I mean, I don't know how it really goes.
I mean,
like the first 13 months of a newborn.
Sleeping. It's all different babies do different things. My son
I
sleeps
bet.
like a charm. My daughter,
Not so much.
not so much. She's an angel, but
Yeah.
she was more difficult as a baby than my son is.
I remember you telling me like you were having to sleep like on the couch with like her on your chest. And
Yeah,
stuff
I mean
like
it's
that. Like
co-parenting. No, I'm not professional when it comes to co-sleeping, but
sure, co-sleeping.
we survived. My daughter survived. My wife survived.
Yeah,
And whatever makes it easier on you and on your wife, and whatever works for you.
okay, that's cool. That's cool. So I mean, for as long as I've known Bill, I've honestly never heard those stories before. I don't know if you've heard
No,
those
first
stories.
take. No, that's my first time hearing
Never
those.
heard of them.
Love them.
Yeah, that's
Was there another box of Munchkins?
You know
and
what?
what flavor?
You know what? After we leave here, I'm going to demand another box of Munchkins.
Wait a minute.
Demand may be a strong word. I'm gonna ask politely for another box of Munchkins.
So
Maybe you
get
should
this.
bring them home.
Are you asking for just the Munchkins, or are you shooting for number 3
No,
here? Okay.
just the donuts. Just the
All right.
donuts.
Just want to clarify that. Okay. All right. That's super cool stories. I love those. So I guess mine was a little bit of a different scenario. Morgan, obviously being a labor and delivery nurse, she's around babies all the time. And she's wanted to have babies. She wanted to get engaged. And, like pretty much right after we got married, she's like, let's get things going. And I just wasn't ready at the time. We had just moved into a new house, and I had just gotten a new job, and it's like, it was just too much at the time. So we talked about it a while. I said, we'll kind of think about it after COVID, after I get my new job going. And we finally said, like, okay, beginning of 2022, we'll start trying. Okay. Like, I shouldn't say start trying. We'll stop preventing unplanned pregnancies.
You would pull the goalie
Yeah, essentially.
in 22.
She's going to pull the goalie. And so that's kind of what we did. And then it was bar down.
Clearly, if she's doing, I don't want to break the I don't know the word, but they're doing October,
October,
baby. So
yeah.
2022 in 9 months. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. So and look, we are so blessed because we know a lot of people who are in your situation that it was a struggle. It still is a struggle, and I can't imagine how hard that would be. It's tough stuff. And so we're obviously super, super blessed to have had it happen. I just wasn't expecting it to happen so fast. And it was funny because my boss actually said, he said, wow, he shoots, he scores, like, that kind of thing.
Not kidding.
But what Morgan did was kind of cool when she told me. Again, I had no clue. Like, we had just stopped preventing. It wasn't even to the point where I considered us starting to try to have a baby. Like, it was like, okay, whatever, it'll probably take some time. But it was like the weekend before Valentine's Day. And so I had gotten her a gift for Valentine's Day. I'm like, I'm going to give it to her on Sunday. I think Valentine's Day was on a Sunday or something like that this year.
Maybe.
But at any rate, it was like the Friday before the weekend where she's like, hey, I got home from work. It was probably 8:00 at night. And I just come out of my office. I was doing work and stuff like that. And she's like, hey, I want to give you your Valentine's Day gift early. And I'm like, well, why not just wait till Sunday or whenever it is? And she's like, no, I want to give it to you early. It
Do
might
you
be.
regularly get gifts early?
No. But so here's a kicker. I didn't think anything of it because we had family coming into town. She's like, oh, you might be able to like use this with your dad and your brother or something like that. So I figured, okay, cool. It's a nice bottle of whiskey. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, sweet. I'll open it. But again, not thinking of anything.
Right.
So she gives me this bag and I'm, just in sweats, like, we're trying to get back into the office because I got more work to do. And she's like, there's some chocolates in there and I'm pulling this stuff out and she's just kind of sitting at the counter, not doing anything. And, so I'm opening this, chocolate covered pretzels and, chocolate covered Oreos, whatever, from Sweet Designs in Cleveland, which if you're around Cleveland, it's a great place to go. Sweet Designs. I love it. They do a bunch of chocolate covered stuff. So I'm pulling these out. And then there's a bottle of Woodinville, which is a really good whiskey. One of my favorites actually. And I pulled out and I go, oh yeah, I love this stuff. And I could kind of feel like there was a paper on the back. And I've had Woodinville before. And I'm like, what is this thing on the back? And I didn't want to say anything about it. And then I flip it over and the back of the bottle says pairs well with becoming a daddy. And then Baby Gold, fall of 2022. And little did I know she was recording me.
Wow, that's got to be great. We got to see that.
Yeah.
We got to see that footage.
So she was recording me while I was doing this. And you could see me you could physically watch my mind processing what is going on. Because I thought wait, who's becoming is this for my dad? That was a honest...
Still wasn't hitting home.
Corb's going to be a big brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my dad at 67 years old. Yeah. But that was an honest thought. I was like, why is she giving me this bottle if it's for my dad? And why is she calling him daddy? That's just weird. But then it clicked and you can see it in the video. I'm looking down at this bottle. In the video, my head snaps up to look at her so fast.
The light bulb went on.
Oh my gosh. It was like a high powered light that went on and it was just like bing. And then
What?
Immediately I was just like, I literally said, are you serious? That was my reaction was, are you serious? Because again, I had heard from so many of her friends and stuff and people that have been struggling for so long that I didn't expect it to happen so soon. So it was immediately I'm like, wait, you can't be serious. Are you serious about this? And she was obviously started to cry and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah. So I ran over, gave her a hug, still just in shock. I don't know. I don't know.
Still pretty skeptic.
Yeah. Look, I'm good, but I don't know how good I really am, yeah. So, I was just so happy because I know she's wanted it for so long and I know she was worried about it taking a long time just because she's seen so many bad things. Her head automatically goes to oh, we're going to have issues and this and that. And
she's probably heard different stories.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. So I thought that was super cool. Now, the one thing is Morgan wears her emotions on her sleeve. She tells me everything. I know when she's mad. She doesn't have to say a word. I know what she's mad. I usually know what she's mad about because I know her so well and she shows it all. And she found out that morning that she was pregnant. She took a bunch of tests. She recorded herself, which I thought was kind of cool, but she found out that morning and went all day without telling anybody. And she waited till...
That must have been just
oh my gosh,
chipping away at her.
Yeah. And she told me this after the fact. And also in the bag with the bottle of whiskey with the label on it was a little onesie that said Baby Gold and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of thought to myself, how'd you have this? And after she told me, I found out this morning, I'm like, you have a printed whiskey bottle label, a onesie that's printed with Baby Gold on it. She's like, I've had that stuff for months and months because I wanted a cool way to tell you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Some preparation.
Exactly. So yeah, that's how I found out. And again, I was it was just disbelief at first.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no way.
So when you guys told me, I saw that bottle.
Yeah. And
that same mental process was like, you sit there, I'm like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
And I remember looking at you two, I was like, let's go.
I taped Adam. So when I was, and we'll get into this next episode. The next episode is going to be telling friends and family, which I think is a really cool thing to talk about. And it's also like, when do you tell them? I had no clue. Again, that brings me back to why we're doing this podcast. Because I told Morgan, like, I want to go tell a bunch of people. She's like, well, we can't yet.
Whoa, we got to hold your horses there, buddy.
Yeah. Why not? You're pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's more that, like, so that's where I had to start digging. So again, we'll get into that next episode, and I'll get some notes from Morgan. But yeah, it was kind of cool because that's what we did when we told you, Adam, was like, I showed you that bottle because again, we're into whiskey. I was like, oh, check out this bottle that that I found or Morgan got for me or something like that.
I think
and
that's what you said was Morgan got for you.
And it was the same.
I was like, oh, this is cool. I've seen this before. And
and it was the same reaction.
Go to like turn it over and it's like, oh, there's a note here.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think Adam's exact words, and I can't scream too loud, but it was, shut up, shut up.
I was stoked for you guys.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's great.
At any rate, that was kind of my story. I don't know. I mean, it was. I think like I said, we're super grateful.
Yeah,
and I know you guys are too with your little ones.
Absolutely, so blessed
for sure.
I mean, coming from my perspective, hearing both of these stories from you guys, this is like an unwritten like courtesy, right? Mm-hmm. You don't talk about it a lot, and as you know, becoming a dad, that's part of it. Not being able to have these types of conversations, you don't hear a lot about this with, at least with us, like me. You guys are, the first friends that I have that are really like starting to have kids.
Yeah.
And having that foresight of reactions, who you need to tell and when, how you've reacted in the past, kind of breaks that down and gives someone like me, hopefully in that moment, I can be an upstanding, guy for my gal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To make sure that moment is as pure and awesome as possible.
For sure.
And I think that's just kind of folds into what we want this to be here, in having that foresight and passing along to people who want to be that stellar dad.
Yeah.
And growing forward.
100%. It's more than just being a dad too. I think it's about being a partner. Like Morgan said, she loved my reaction because it was obviously surprise and shock. And then I ran over and just gave her a big hug. It's still, again, in disbelief, and a hug and a kiss. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, are you sure? Are you serious? And she pulled out a pregnancy test and showed me. And she probably took like, no joke, between like 5 and 10.
Oh man.
Within the first couple hours. But I just went over and gave her a hug and was like, oh my gosh, I love you. I'm so excited. And she loved that response. But I think to your point, Adam, it's like there's more to it than just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a dad. Like, because you want them to feel as if the moment is as special it is for you as it is for them, because it is. But they always have a leg up on us unless you're one of those couples who like takes a test and you like are looking at the results together.
Right.
Which I know some people do.
Well, I mean, from that perspective, they always get the first take.
Right.
Typically, or there's a waiting time for a pregnancy test, right?
With my wife, I said, you're not pregnant. She said she was. So she went and got a test, and then I found out before she did almost. It was like I saw the test was positive.
Really?
For our second one, because I was convinced she was not pregnant, and she was so convinced she was. Or she was like almost, here, I'll prove it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, hey, that's a good point for us to take a little break, get a refill, and then we'll be back shortly.
Very good.
Okay, welcome back. We're back from our little break here. Got some refills. Did the stuff in between. It's kind of funny. We have to take a break because my camera has a 30-minute time recording limit. That's why we're taking a break.
Struggles.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're just keeping it honest here. So we talked a little bit about, first reactions and stuff like that in the first segment. And Bill kind of said to me in between, he said, I think it'd be good for you to share, because this is kind of following my timeline. It'd be good for you to share where Morgan is in the process. And I had to do math. It's so funny when people, that's the first question that people bring up is how far along? Mm-hmm. And I'm always like, let me get a calendar out.
Oh boy.
I don't know. But see, Morgan's on top of it. I don't know what app she has. She has an app.
There's a million.
Okay.
There's absolutely a million.
So her app is really cool because it gives you tips. It gives you a kind of fruit. It gives you an animal.
Of what, comparable size
of where things are at.
Yeah.
So just to put that out there, she's about almost 18 weeks right now. So we're about halfway through. We wanted to get the podcast started sooner, but was hard. It's kind of hard to start a podcast. There's a lot of stuff you got to do on the forefront there.
There is, but most importantly, how is she feeling?
Good question. She has been awesome. She has been absolutely awesome. She never, and knock on wood, but she never had morning sickness. Did you guys just knock on wood for me?
Always. You say it, it's going to happen.
Okay. I guess I will too.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All for the family, man.
Yeah. So Morgan's been great. She's had no morning sickness, no major, I wouldn't say any major food cravings, other than.
Nothing weird.
Yeah, other than the watermelon Sour Patch Kids, which we went to a wedding recently and we took Adam with us, and because Morgan was our DD, he brought her a bag of watermelon Sour Patch Kids. So that was greatly appreciated.
What a guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Gotta make an impact somehow.
But that's been her only main craving.
Yeah.
But she works out at Orange Theory Fitness.
Yeah.
She still goes 4 days a week.
Super mom already.
I mean, she's doing great. So that's kind of how she's been feeling. Mm-hmm. Did Lindsay go through anything
Yeah,
crazy?
what was that like?
Oh, I mean, that's a whole topic in itself.
Okay, we'll dig into that one another time.
That's another day.
Okay, sounds like there's something cooking there.
Oh boy. I thought it was so wild when I heard about these cravings. I've got a buddy down in Cincinnati, and his wife, pregnant, same type of situation as you.
Mm-hmm.
Got married, and I think it was honeymoon.
Oh,
right? Oh, nice. It was straight off the rip. Anyways, fast forward, she's kind of going through some cravings one night. What do you want for dinner? He asks, and she's like, I need green beans. Green beans, right? So he goes out, buys a can of green beans. Now, thinking ahead, smart guy, he buys a couple cans.
Sure.
So in case she wants it again, he doesn't have to go out.
Absolutely.
Makes the whole can of green beans first night, right?
Mm-hmm.
She enjoys it. He delivered. Great dad. Or husband, I should say. And then next night, he asked her the same question.
Can't stand him.
He's like, well, we got some green beans. Would you like that again? She goes, oh my God, that's disgusting. He's like, whoa. It was just funny to hear the reaction of how that swings, right? It's not always the same thing.
No, it's
at the
night
same
and day.
time.
It's night and day. Every day is different.
Man,
Every day is new. Every day is something.
It's
something
wild to hear.
up.
I'm looking forward to hearing about Lindsay's experience. But
that'll be kind of cool.
It's wild.
That'll probably be around episode 3 or 4, and I think we'll probably bring Morgan on for that one because I think it'd be cool to hear her experience, and because she has talked to so many, again, pregnant women,
right?
Because that's her job. She hears some crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a cool topic. But yeah, so about 18 weeks, she's doing really well. I cannot believe we're almost halfway through. I mean, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I get freaked out, and the more I'm like, okay, we need to beef up these episodes because I need to learn a bunch of stuff. Like, should I go buy a tricycle right now? Is that like step number one?
Tricycle before training wheels.
Diapers 1, tricycle 2.
Okay, tricycle 2. Diapers are already rolling in too, by the way. We already have diapers coming in from people. Like, we just get random Amazon packages of diapers.
See, this is a whole nother topic because
100%.
the baby won't like it. The baby could have a reaction to it. You don't know what diaper the baby's going to want.
I said
You
we
know
should
what
just
size the diaper is going to be? It's
Are there different sizes? I thought it was just like baby.
no
Baby adult.
newborn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh God, is it? This sounds like a metric system. Do I need to learn like
And
a
do
whole
you
new
go
like?
through the whole thing? Like you hit that whole gambit. You start wherever, fits day
I
one.
have a 2-year-old daughter in 4s and a 6-month-old son in 4s.
Whoa.
Okay, because I was just gonna ask. Well, if she's in 4s, does it go by age?
Weight, more so by weight, and just comfort, and what it can contain. Does it hold everything in that comes out or not?
God.
Because it's a science. There's math involved,
Oh man.
Cuts.
geometry involved,
It's just sizes
and
general cuts,
and
right?
origami involved. It's all of it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just getting overwhelming for me. We need to stop this conversation and save that for another time because I'm already starting to.
You got to crawl before you can walk, and I don't know if we're even moving yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, so again, the whole topic today is the first reaction. And I mean, so here's a question. Is fleeing the country when you find out that a girl you've gotten pregnant is pregnant, is that like an actual thing? Do people actually flee the country? I mean, I feel like
I don't know anybody that's happened to.
I don't either.
I think just now would be you just turn off your phone because
I don't know
that's
if
all
that's-
you really need to do now. That's the only way people track you now. You just
True.
turn off your phone and disappear.
New number.
New number.
No. Well, to
This
people who
would obviously be in a situation where it's not like you guys where, you're planning a family.
right,
Obviously,
right.
you guys are, you were married when this was going on.
Yeah, it was just one of those thoughts that, like, I joked about it with Morgan, like, because I'm a jokester.
Where were you fleeing to? What was your country
Canada.
of choice?
Oh, Canada.
Canada.
So
Probably Toronto,
Just
something
to
like
the north,
that.
Great Way
just a
North.
quick jaunt.
Yeah.
Over the border.
Yep, just
We're
far enough.
we're 20 miles away, really.
Well, yeah, you
North Coast, man.
If you swim.
If you swim, that's not very far north.
I don't swim. But anyway, I was just joking about that with Morgan. Obviously, I would never do that. And anybody who's thinking of doing that, take another step back and think of how grateful you should be to, be blessed with a child, whether unplanned or planned or unplanned.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting stuff, and I'm so excited. I'm honestly so excited, and that's the one thing Morgan kept asking me. So I have higher anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like change, and she knows that, obviously, but she kept asking me, like, after she told me day after day, how are you feeling? Like, how are things going?
Did that give you more anxiousness?
No, honestly, it made me more calm because I thought about how I was feeling and how I was doing. And,
Okay, so you actually kind of leaned into that.
Sure.
And you were able to break that down a little bit more.
and it was like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm good. I really thought that when that day would come, I'd be freaking out. And sure, there's days where I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like,
Right.
we got to go to a doctor's appointment. We got to do this. We got to get a baby room ready. We got to do all these different things. But honestly, I'm just so excited.
I did not freak out once for our first
Okay.
I wouldn't even say until 3 days after she was home was when every nighttime I would be nervous because how is she going to sleep tonight?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to sleep tonight? How is my wife going to sleep tonight? How are we going to feed him tonight? Feed her tonight, sorry.
Yeah. Because of safety or because of you just want to get sleep?
Just because you go through 40 weeks and your wife's carrying this baby,
Yeah.
and you're doing everything you think you can, but she's the one really carrying the weight. No pun intended.
Well,
Yeah, true.
kind of pun
But
intended.
but then this you deliver the baby safely and healthy baby, thankfully.
Yep.
You spend 2 days there, and then they kick you out, and you say, okay, you two are going to take this little human home. Mm-hmm. Good luck.
Do they actually tell you good luck?
They should, because you need it. And then you bring what almost is a stranger home, because you know them on the inside, but they're a stranger when they come. They're really a stranger to the dad specifically, but also to the mom, because 3 days ago they weren't there.
Right.
And now they are.
Well, it's when the both of you really, actually get hands-on.
Right.
The whole dynamic changes.
And that's when I got nervous for the first one. But the second one, as soon as I found out, I was nervous, because I knew how hard one was.
Right.
And I knew we only had 4 hands, and now we were going to have 2 kids.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
And then you're playing man-to-man.
Yeah. That's like battling a 5-on-3.
Easier when you're on a 2-on-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. We use a lot of hockey references. That's all we know.
We go back.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
I did not benefit from anything else. Like, it was stick and a puck. I was good. Mm-hmm. You try and make me like an arc shot for basketball. Can't do it. Like, I'm shooting lasers at the hoop.
Oh boy. We won't dig into sports too much, in case there are ladies out there listening, because I honestly, this is targeted towards dads, like we talked about in the last one. It's hard to find sources to be the best dad, because there's a lot of things that are geared towards moms, which is great. But what about the modern dad who just wants to be the best dad possible? Not only a dad, but also the best spouse.
Right.
Or even if you're not, maybe there's some people out there who aren't married and they're going through this together for the first time. Like, we want to answer a lot of those questions that are like, what is going to happen at my next doctor's appointment? Mm-hmm. Why do I have to do this? Like those kinds of things. So,
right.
I think
and you guys have made a doctor's appointment visit, right?
Yeah.
They've had multiple, I'm sure, at this point.
Yeah.
18 weeks, you said? Yeah.
We're a little different on that aspect, because again, Morgan goes into work, and if it's a slow day, she just asks somebody,
knocks it out.
Hey, can you scan me? Can we check the baby's heart rate? I swear every day she's come home. But here's the interesting thing. So this is all part of like the reaction part of it. Did you find out the gender?
No.
Neither of them?
Yes. No, I lied. Yes, we found out both. I completely lied.
Weird lie.
Did I want to for the first one? No. We did. Yes.
You did. Okay.
You did. Yes.
Okay. So both of them you found out
Both
the
of them we found out in the parking lot of the doctor's office.
Okay. So nothing special, no gender reveal. That's popular.
No. Yeah. We sat in the car in the parking lot of the doctor's office and said, we're opening the envelope now.
Who was the one that initiated that?
Lindsay.
Okay. And did you talk about it beforehand? Where you're like, oh, we don't want to find out?
Yes, we talked about it beforehand.
Okay. Lindsay just being the rebel, just going against
being the planner she is, knowing there's a baby shower coming, knowing how much we have to prepare for.
Right.
The last thing she wanted to worry about was what color do we need to focus on?
Especially
what
with her being that creative type.
Do we need to worry about? Mm-hmm. It is what it is. If it's a girl, people are going to buy us girl stuff. If it's a boy, people are going to buy us boy stuff. If they don't know,
what do they do?
What are they going to buy us?
Well, they buy the expensive shit, man.
I know that's what registries are for, but you'll be amazed by how many people do not follow your registry.
Okay.
Another question that is so important. This goes like further. Like for me, I went to a wedding with for a mutual friend recently. Mm-hmm. I still don't know what to get, like for a wedding gift, and I don't know to ask the question, or simply like there is a registry. Ask your friends, what's your registry's address? Where are you registered? Same thing for a baby shower. Do you have a registry?
It needs to be. Yes, we do have a registry.
Thank you. I will be asking for that.
Yeah, it needs to
post
be
the link below.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're just gonna drop that in the link below. Thank you. But no, like seriously, that's like one. We're not finding out the gender because Morgan has seen time after time in the operating room how exciting it is for them not to know. Like you go through this whole process and she has seen the dads who shout out, it's a boy, it's a girl,
right.
It's a horse, whatever the hell it is, But she has seen that so many times and she wants that. Mm-hmm. And I get
understand.
that.
I can get that, absolutely.
For sure, especially somebody who's seen it. Now, I want to know. I want to know so bad, like, because I want to go to the store.
Analyzing photos to try and figure it out?
Well, so you have to stop looking at ultrasound photos at a certain point.
Right.
Which,
are you sitting there with one of those like...
No, they hide the screen.
Totally.
You have to tell them when you go into the appointment.
They do.
Yeah.
How many ultrasounds have you seen? Well, Morgan, it's very different for Morgan.
I know. We're in a different situation.
You're in a very different situation.
Because we can basically go into her workplace whenever we want and get an ultrasound. Most people don't do that. And we're going to dig into a whole episode, by the way, on appointments. It's going to be strictly talking about appointments, so I don't want to go too in-depth here. And Morgan will be with us for that one.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of questions. She's like, you need to be at this appointment. You don't really need to be at that one. I need you there for this one. And I'm like, but why? Mm-hmm. What do I need to do? What are they going to do to you?
Support.
And yeah, the first one, they pull out this giant rod. And I'm like, oh, am I next? Do I need like... Do I need the silicone gel for that or whatever? But at any rate, we'll dig into that another time. But, again, part of all the reactions to that kind of, reaction to pregnancy is, should we find out? I mean, it's everybody's own taste.
Absolutely.
I think. I want to find out. She doesn't. I respect that. And it's going to be hard to not know. But, hey, we're halfway there almost. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, full term is 40 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
See, full term is 40 weeks?
I could be wrong, but any time after, I believe, 35 or 36 weeks is technically full term. I may be off a week.
I feel like 40 weeks is fully baked.
But any time after that, you're technically, not technically, per my opinion, full term, I believe.
We'll bring that answer next time. Definitely going to need the expert Morgan on the show to elaborate on that, but somewhere around there. So we're counting it as week 20 is halfway. That's as far as I know.
That's fair. Okay.
I like to keep it simple because there's so much other stuff going on. Again, we got to prep for the baby room and all that kind of stuff, which we'll get into in one of these next episodes. We're going to kind of follow like the chronological order of what I'm going through, and we'll be able to get, my questions, Adam's questions, and obviously your experience and kind of what you went through, and we'll kind of just follow that timeline. But any other things that you want to bring up about your reaction?
There's one I want to know.
Okay.
What did you guys think of my reaction?
Okay, yours was awesome.
Okay.
I absolutely loved your reaction because it was so, like, we like the genuine reactions. What we did, every person that we told them in person.
Probably the best way to do
man.
it. Luckily,
other than Bill. Thanks, man. Well, I tried to meet up with Bill for so long, and then I eventually was just kind of like, I don't even know how I told you. I told you over text or something like that.
Yeah, because my kids were sick, and you were like, well, I need to learn how to take care of sick babies.
You're
now.
right. Yeah, you're right. It was kind of one of those things I just couldn't wait anymore to tell you. But then we obviously talked after that. But Adams, again, I showed him that bottle of whiskey, and he was just like, it was crazy.
I think I need to see this bottle of whiskey.
Morgan's got it on her. Oh, the bottle of whiskey?
Yeah, I want to see it.
It's in there. I can't get to it right now. It's behind the camera, and we're recording in a small office space, so we're kind of tied down, but I'll show it to you. And then, you know what? Maybe I'll post a picture on Instagram.
That'd be great.
I'll post that picture on Instagram because it kind of follows suit with what we've talked about today. And but yeah, I loved your reaction. It was so good. And we recorded everybody in our family. So what we did with like we'll kind of dig into that next week. But what we did with my parents was, it was my mom's birthday, the same time we found out. And we told them super, super early. But we gave her, a gift box.
Dude, I feel like this is another episode you're already breaking into.
It is. But I can't not share it now.
All right,
so we gave her a little gift box, and it had a little onesie in it. And oh my God, I need to show you that video because my mom, you could see the emotions going through her head. I'm the youngest.
Yeah, the baby's having a baby.
Yeah, exactly. So I have one brother, They have 2 kids, which has honestly been good practice for me. Like, I think I feel more comfortable becoming a dad, which is something we should talk about, is exposure to children.
I agree.
We'll dig into that real quick next. But man, when I told my mom, it was like her reaction was just priceless. Like, she was grasping for things around her. Like, she was grabbing
a pear.
She needed to be grounded.
She was literally like grabbing for a chair, a table, my dad's arm. Like, oh my gosh, it was hilarious. We'll get into that more next week. But we kind of brought up a good topic here. Is I feel more comfortable with things because I've been an uncle, and if you like Friends, an aunt.
Right.
That's a famous thing from. Do you watch Friends?
Not as much as I should.
Okay. There's a scene where Joey, who's like the knucklehead of
I'm
of
familiar
the group,
with Joey.
Yeah, he's kind of stupid, whatever. But he's like, oh, you're gonna, someone's gonna be an aunt or it's an uncle, right?
Yeah, an uncle.
Oh, you're gonna be an uncle, and he chimes in, he goes, or aunt, like depending. He was like relating it to if it's gonna be a boy or girl. Just silly joke, but. At any rate, me being an uncle to these 2 awesome little kids who I love dearly has really helped me like kind of warm up to that. I think Morgan has seen that too. Like, she's seen how closely I can relate to my niece and nephew.
Yeah.
And it makes me more comfortable. I still have yet to change a diaper.
That's okay. You'll change it up.
That time will
That's
come.
okay.
I don't think they make that automated yet.
No,
Yeah.
you save that. You're going to change enough.
Now, did you have exposure to kids, babies, I should say? Kids are different. Babies before your kids were born?
Yes, but I wasn't the one to want to hold a baby. I always steered clear of holding newborns until I had my own. That was
Because you're afraid to drop them, right?
Well, yeah. That was kind of my thing. It's like, I know they're watching me.
Yeah.
It's a
lot of pressure.
I'm going to save the holding of a newborn until I have my own.
Yeah.
And then
I can
only
drop it at
and
free will.
Lindsay, yeah. Only I and Lindsay can judge me for the way I'm holding my newborn.
Yeah.
And I just thought that moment was something special I wanted to kind of hold on to.
Okay. That's cool. Have you?
I like the way you put that because I have that same exact hesitation, and I never framed it that way, but I certainly shy away from it. And it's more so on like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't want to upset the baby. Mm-hmm. I don't want to offend the mom. Right. I don't know if the dad's around. I'm not well versed in it. Mm-hmm. I've been around kids. I've been around newborns, but I think it's like maybe having that is a subconscious hesitation for me of, I want that moment for myself. Mm-hmm. I want that experience with my own kids when that day comes.
Mm-hmm. You saying you're not going to hold my kid?
Maybe not off
I
the
think
rip.
he is. I think he is.
What the hell, man?
I won't hold your kid either.
Well, I'm not changing a diaper, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm not looking forward to that.
Hey, if I got to play that role and I got to step in, I will,
Listen,
man.
at some point, we got to put a fake baby on the table, and you got to get a little...
You're not going back to the days of Halloween at OSU, are you?
Yeah, Bill and I, ironically, back when we lived together, we dressed up as dads for Halloween.
Did. Adam joined us too.
Adam was there too.
I jumped
That's
in.
right.
Yep.
So we dressed up as dads for Halloween, and we basically wore tucked in T-shirts and
baby carriers,
button ups. We had baby carriers and New Balance shoes on, and dad hats. It was pretty cool. But oh man, that was a good time. But that's a good That's a cool topic because this is the first time I'm thinking of that. Is like I feel more comfortable because of having nieces and nephews.
Yeah, there's some familiarity.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of cool. But at any rate, that's going to do it for us today. I think we've talked about quite a bit, and we're kind of hitting our time limit. So let's regroup in a week or so. We'll dig into the next topic. Thank you again all for jumping in and listening. We appreciate it. Again, we're just getting used to all this. So bear with us through some of the struggles here. And don't forget to check us out on all of our platforms. If if you're on Spotify, great. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and then jump over to YouTube, give us a follow, and same thing on Instagram, bottles.n.bottles on Instagram.
Some Easter eggs there in the future about some of the things we'll be covering.
For sure. Yeah, we're going to post a lot of stuff on Instagram about upcoming episodes. We're going to do some cool whiskey stuff. We're hoping to do some giveaways. We'll post like product reviews because I got to buy a bunch of stuff apparently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And if there's one thing I know about you, it is product and new tech.
I do a lot of research on everything that I buy. So that's all going to be part of it. So we'll keep the Instagram updated pretty regularly. And thanks again for joining. And as always, bottles up.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.